The blankness of everything, the whiteness of everything, the blank eyes. You would never mistake it not being a likeness, but on the other hand, it's generic. It becomes a kind of classical ideal.
As you say, there is uncanny feeling in front of this type of sculpture that is so real that it becomes surreal, or it becomes uncomfortable almost.
And it's remarkable that something so sort of pristine and silent in a way communicates so much.
This piece is really a point, both a point of departure and, in a sense, an arrival of Charles Ray's career.
He's someone who's not well known to the public. He's very process-oriented and he works very, very slowly. Nothing comes out of the studio until it's been tried in many different variations, scales, material, much like Aluminum Girl.
Because he sort of sublimates all his research on the mannequins, particularly on the human figure, but he translates it into a much more abstract or classical language.
One of our specialists writes that this is the David for the postmodern, the way that the David emerges from this block of stone and she emerges from a material which you really can't guess at when you see it. You're not quite sure what it is.
This was really the first time that he experimented with this sort of lactigenous, milky substance. He was very obsessed by the white color and particularly by the white of the shell of eggs. He turned the backyard in his studio into a chicken farm so that he could observe how eggs are hatched and how the chicken grows, and so he could simulate it perfectly in a series of other sculptures. He is legendarily demanding and incredibly focused on his work, and it can take 8 years for him to complete a piece. He really also treats his own studio and any manufacturer he's working with as an extension of the studios. The whole physical relationship with it is really transformative because it is life-size, it's a cast, but the scale is so compressed in a way that sort of double perception when you walk around it of an object that is incredibly light and yet incredibly dense.
He's an artist who doesn't think about sculpture per se, but thinks sculpturally. There's a psychological dimension that, you know, from something so neutral and so flat in a way, it becomes so volumetric and so psychological at the same time.
It's clearly a portrait of an individual, but it's an individual that is caught at such a level of specificity and under such density that she becomes universal. And as cheesy as this sounds, I think that's what makes masterpieces and that's what makes art great.